Welcome, welcome, welcome to round two, the evening stream. Um, Seeing how these work out. If people like being up late like me, well, that's the time to join. I haven't decided yet. Obviously, this is going to be one of those sort of longer term experiments with live where I do my daytime and my nighttime streams to see which one's going to be the dominant stream, and maybe that will be the focus. Or I might just continue doing both. I don't really have a preference. It depends on how busy I am in the shop working. Right now, I have enough time where I can kind of take a few hours, 3 days a week during the day, and that's fine. It doesn't really affect anything. That's the beauty of self-employment, is that I work whenever I want. So if I don't want to follow a set schedule for work, I don't have to. The old coffee. Let's see. Switch us up over here. All right. So how's everybody doing tonight? Having a remark. I don't know why I put my gloves on because I'm not quite ready to jump into some AMS, which is what I'm going to be doing again. Some AMS. You're gonna see some a lot of AMS2 or Automobilista 2 content, and you're gonna see some F125 content. But the biggest reason for one thing, Automobilista 2 is just, in my opinion, it's the best sim right now. I would say the physics aren't the best, but as a factoring in all things well-rounded, I think it's the best one. It's now downside is I think the only thing that's bad about it is that it's not on console, and not that I'm worried about that because I'm a PC guy, but I also have console and I have a lot of friends who game on console, so being able to cross-play with them would be really nice. That was what was nice about F125 is it's an EA game. It's got all the modern sort of technologies or whatever, where the modern systems where you can play cross-platform, anybody, all the time. But that being said, I'm pretty much playing the hell out of this game because PMR, or Project Motor Racing, coming out in... How many days we got left? I gotta stop moving this mouse. I use the mouse over here on my right, but then when I actually do this, my haptics will vibrate it and make it fall, so I gotta put it over here. Spilled my water earlier too. Haptics are awesome, but they move shit. Let's see. So it's the 7th now. It comes out on the 25th, so we're at 2.5 weeks away. I'm looking forward to that one. It's definitely going to need some work post-release, but they all do at this point. Even the games that have been out for years are far from perfect. ACC is, in my opinion, one of the best driving simulators. I don't think it's one of the best sims for playing with friends and stuff. If you want to get in and have some fun, it's a lot. Automobilista is a lot more user friendly to just, hey, let's just jump into a race and just do some racing. You don't have to worry too much about, like, hey, look, this is what it's like to actually, race on a circuit. And it's cool when you're in the mood for that, but when you're not in the mood for that, it's a bit painful, especially if, like, not to mention, you're going through the works of getting everything set up, and then someone times out or has a internet connection issue, and now you got to start it all over again, and it takes forever to get into a race. So it can be painful with that. But AMS2, on the other hand, is yeah. Rowdy has a laptop that I sold him that will run this game no problem. So he primarily plays on PS5. I'm hoping to get him straightened out with some AMS this weekend. He actually just picked up a new rig. He went from a Playseat Trophy to the TR8 Pro V2. So that was one of the rigs I recommended to him. I'm in the NLR. Jeez, there's so many other acronyms I wanted to say. Next Level Racing. FGT Pro. This thing is pretty quality. It's pretty heavy duty. I'm a fan. All right, so what do we want to jump into? I'm thinking obviously some AMS. You're sorry, Lewis? Yeah, you should be on right now. You should be getting gapped. You keep saying how you're going to beat me, but then you don't show up. You're turning into one of those guys. Let's see. I haven't configured it yet. I have EAWRC. I haven't configured it with this wheelbase yet. I think I'm gonna stick to AMS2 for now. Let's open that one up and see where we're at. So tomorrow I have a video going live comparing what I did on stream today, a little short of, not short, but like a 15-minute video or so, comparing this wheel to the track wheel, showing how they run on the Nordschleife, back to back essentially, which one's faster. But I'm also using the H pattern, so it's not a direct round wheel versus track wheel or formula wheel, but it's okay, I want to drive your average streetcar guy where he likes to drive with a round wheel and an H pattern versus another guy who's full-blown track wheel. So you'll see tomorrow which one is superior. What's going on, Brown Santa? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. You guys don't mind liking the stream for those who are watching. It does help. Earlier today, we got into the overseas population, and that's all algorithm. So that's what you're always battling. Like right now, my entire YouTube algorithmically is going backwards from what it was because I did a complete content change up, which is like old. It's I don't want to say it for fear of algorithm hurting me even more, but it's like YouTube career offing yourself. So all of the in fact, I've been getting more unsubs than I have. I've been getting some subs. I'm monitoring it, obviously, all, but like I'm definitely seeing a purge of people who just don't care about sim stuff, which I get. I went into it fully understanding that. So, I mean, there's people who are here for me. There's people who are here for the content, and some people like both. So it goes both ways. I'm okay with it either way. But realistically, I've said for the longest time now, I want to build. I'm a big fan of, like, say, Cletus's channel, where people are there for him. They're not there. So he does whatever he wants, and you either watch the video or you don't. And you're there to kind of support him and sort of, enjoy his presence. Now, I got some work to do. I'm obviously no Cletus, but this stuff is fun. So, all right. I'm thinking the Nordschleife is always a great way to sort of, what do you call it? Get into the rhythm of just warming up. The shoulders, the body, get in the mindset of racing. There's so much turning. You're having FPS issues with F1. What are you on, PC or console? Console, there's not much you can do about it. If it's console, then you're going to get what you're going to get. I will say I did play quick on PS5 on Rowdy's PlayStation, and I compared F125 to PC F125, and because I was like, the graphics are okay to me on PC, and then I went over to PS5, and it's like, wow, there really is a substantial graphics increase to PC. I just think the game itself is very, it's not cartoony looking. That's probably the wrong terminology. It's just, I don't know, you're used to the realistic looking Sims, and you go to F125 and it's like it's lacking texture depth. The colors are nice. The everything is smooth. It's a strange looking texture that makes it not look detailed. Does Automobilista 2 actually allow the better racer to win, or does it feel like once you get the hang of the car, it just becomes rinse and repeat? I'm curious how much skill really separates. I can say that I am confident in AMS2, ACC, and all like the diehard sim stuff. The games that aren't built on a controller. If you can be better on a controller versus a wheel, it's not a real sim, in my opinion. And like Gran Turismo 7, games like that, Forza, the fastest players are all on controllers. It's a lot like sort of esports with like Call of Duty and stuff. Like the best mouse and keyboard player will always lose to the best controller player because the controller has assists and advantages that aren't there. So if you were to make them somehow raw and remove all the aim assist, all that stuff from the controller and the assists, mouse and keyboard would win every time because it's the superior way to drive, or superior way to shoot, sorry. And in this case, wheel and pedals are a superior way to drive. However, like I said, the arcadey type games or the SimCady games, they favor controller to give the controller guys an advantage because they're built on for game consoles. So I would say, in summary, the better driver in games like AMS, they're always going to be the ones who win. Now, things can always happen. One thing about better drivers is, like with me especially, if I'm trying to set a faster time or whatever, there's a higher chance of me crashing and losing by a good amount than, just losing by a small amount simply because if I know the car and I know the track, I'm going to be pushing it and I'm likely going to make a bigger mistake. So what I'll do is I'll show you some of the physics. Now, this car is a harder car to drive. The Sauber, here, let me just show you. I'm talking about it. The Sauber Mercedes. This car is arguably one of my favorite cars in this game. It's definitely my favorite Group C car. I wish they had the 787B in this. They will have it in PMR, Project Motor Racing. But for now, this is still one of my, this is like top 3 car. The Porsche is up there too, the 962C, I believe. But Group Z cars are they're phenomenal cars. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick lap or two around the Nordschleife with the Sauber Mercedes, give you an idea of how the physics are. Now, one thing I can say is, I don't know if you've ever played ACC or not, but ACC, the car feels very heavy and very glued to the ground. These cars feel very light and sort of slidey, but I feel like they do actually have more grip. It's weird. It's like an animation thing and not an actual physics thing. So it gives you the sensation that you're like out of control, but you're in full control. Whereas ACC, you feel like you have way more control and then you don't and you crash. So ideally for me, my play style would be, I would like to see a direct split down the middle of like this car's sort of looseness feeling, because real life cars, they don't feel like they're glued to the ground. Now, at least not when they're on the limit, obviously. Now, you take a GT car or a real race car or whatever like that, and you go casual street car speeds around turns. Yeah, they're going to feel glued to the ground. Everything is about being pushed to the limit, though. That's the whole point. So when things are at their limit, I feel like AMS is a bit more accurate than ACC. ACC, they just feel too good, to the point where they feel slow. Whereas a little bit of out of controlness gives you that sensation of this is actually fast. So let me just show you this. And we're also going to be doing this H pattern and round wheel style. Like I said, I have my track wheel, but I try and keep it, well, for one thing, it's just more fun to use the H pattern. But I also want to keep it somewhat authentic too. And this is an H pattern car, so it just seems right. All right, let's get all my settings here. Alright. Alright, so this is the out lap. Cold tires. Stay in second. See, like right there, cold tires. See, like right there, it slides, but you're very much in control of that slide. if you notice, but the ass of the car is like, it feels like it's always chasing, and that is an AMS driving physic. But it feels much more like an animation effect than it does the actual... Messed that. Too hot in that turn. It feels more like it's part of the animation of the car than it is the car being sort of out of control. Because as much as the tail or the car oversteers from an animation standpoint, the only times I ever crash these cars is I understeer. But at no point do I feel like I'm understeering. Which is why I favor the slidiness to be more of just an animation style sensation. Oh! Miles an hour and sipping a coffee. Look, Ma, no hands. Should probably drive the car though, huh? Alright, so that is a lap. That was an out lap now. So, let's get out of this. And let's switch up to actual race. Do some racing. Alright. So I should be doing a multiplayer race right now with Lewis. But Lewis is too busy being a bum. Let's do some single racing. Let's see. How did I do in this one last time? I think I ran out before I couldn't catch him. Let's see. What do we got for tracks? Let's try this, the full course here. Let's try this guy. Yeah, let's see how I do. I'll start in the back of the pack. No AI changes. They're medium or so difficulty. Not full send, but not full easy. But as far as this is probably the best, most entertaining game for me where I can or sim, whatever. Where I can get in and I can race AI. There's so many tracks by myself and have fun. Replayability is huge for this game, in my opinion. I forgot how long the rolling starts are at Daytona. wow, it puts me in the wall off the rip. That's nice. What a game. Excuse me. What? Wow, what is... I'm not even going to... I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Here I am going ahead and giving AMS some compliments, and that's what the AI does. Oh my god. What, let's go from 39th to 14th right there? Not sure that was a track limit, but all right. Oh, come on, AI, get off me. My bad. That's track limit right there. That is a turn in this track that I never do. That little second chicane. I'm not used to that one at all. I haven't quite figured it out yet. Whoa! Where am I at here? 6th place? Curious, would you guys be interested in watching me, watching me play NASCAR 25? I don't know, I've been monitoring it. It looks kind of brutal. on. Alright, give me the draft now. If I can get into that draft, I can get these guys before the next chicane. Oh, it's going to be close. And they're spread out, too. Come on. Ah, I fucked it. Alright, here we go. Draft and a pass. Brake early. I was trying to anticipate the braking zone, but he wouldn't brake. It's alright, we got it though. Alright, we're officially in podium. We got plenty of time. That's gonna hurt me. My second warning. I really gotta learn that. Oh, hello. I'm gonna try and get you in the draft. Come on, go, baby, go. Slide right in there. Oh, this guy has got my draft. Alright, so we got to the first place in 5 full laps. Noted. Oof. Alright, if I finish lap 6 in first place, I'm going to call it there. I'm not going to do the remaining laps because I want to move on to some other stuff. Alright, so what I want to do now, I'm going to switch things up just a little bit. I'm actually going to go over to the Formula Wheel, and I'm going to do some AMS Formula 1 racing. So, hold that thought 1 second. I also just realized, too, I forgot to turn the tunes on. We're missing a little something without the music, I'll say that. Even if it's, you know, not the world's greatest music. That is Be Right. Good Lord. Get you over here. Alright, music's up. Let's get back in the game. So, let's go from round wheel and H pattern to full-blown Formula Wheel. There you are. Alright, so now I want to do some Formula 1 racing, modern Formula 1 stuff, or I guess GT3 stuff, anything modern that uses a Formula Wheel. So, let's see, Formula, here we go, Gen 2, Gen 1, Gen 2. Select livery, where are we at? Got any cool liveries? I say this guy. Velocity. Alright, now we're not doing that track, that's for sure. Look at, like, for example, though, those of you wondering about it and haven't played, look at all of the tracks, and they have many renditions of the tracks, too. But that's a lot. Let's see. I don't know this track. I know Spa, though. Let's do Spa. I do know Spa. Alright, so let's get 10 laps. Let's stick to 5 laps on these big tracks for now. I don't care if I'm trying to pace them out so that I have a chance to win, but, you know, you don't really get anything for winning in this. At least not these single-player things. I'm waiting for career mode to come out. Clippy worked offline. How you like the wheelbase? It is phenomenal. I talked a lot about it in today's stream, this morning's stream, talking about how I finally have a wheelbase now where I can stop the back and forth oscillation when I let go of the wheel, when I'm in a dead straight line. That stuff drives me nuts because I haven't driven race cars per se, but I've driven a lot of street turned into race car cars, and I've gone at a very decent rate of speed. In a straight line, the wheel doesn't oscillate back and forth. The car goes dead straight. If the wheel moves and crazy, you got a suspension issue, or a tire issue, or you're going off-roading, one or the other. So, all right, let's give this a shot. But be careful, using settings for that takes away detail. So, believe it or not, it's actually disabling the wheel centering force. So I can show you quick. It's only one setting that stops it. And honestly, like, I hate the setting being on. It's only good for drifting, and I haven't really tried drifting yet, so I'm speculating on that. Right here, wheel rotation speed. As far as feedback detail, this is one I talked about earlier today, where you can turn this up. And this is sort of like Logitech's True Force, I guess you would say. I have haptics on my rig, so I don't really need that. I can use it, it's cool, but the haptics wildly overwhelm this feature. But this wheel rotation speed, this is the problematic one, the one that I hate. If I turn this up to this, the wheel will snap back to center, and it will never fully correct itself. So you would think, okay, what's going to do this? It's going to return it to center. And they never do. It's just going to make it do this. It's going to chase constantly. I hate that. It makes me a worse driver by having it on, and it doesn't feel real. It feels like it's a fake setting. That one thing that's great about this is you can turn it off, where on my old Logitech stuff, you couldn't make that go away because you couldn't fully turn that off. Countering centering force. There are a few different settings that have to do with like centering the wheel will still center itself naturally because it's part of physics and how cars work. But that setting was overly dramatic to the point where, like, it's not realistic. It makes the car harder to drive. Now, for, like I said, for drifting, where you want to just drive with one finger and the wheel's doing all the work, I could see that feature being a benefit. But a lot of the software settings, everything operates better with them off, in my opinion. Now, I've not driven... I'm no, Max Verstappen or any of these other guys that drive GT cars, but I've driven a lot of fast street cars that are built for road racing, and I'm going based off of my memory on that stuff. But like I said, I haven't been exactly in a modern-day GT car or an F1 car, and I will likely never be in an F1 car. I'd like to be in a GT car one day, but we'll see. Honestly, I'm pretty content not crashing in real life. I race motorcycles, so I know all about what that's like. So let's just try this out. I have basically everything except iRacing. I'm putting off iRacing as long as I can. I gotta get in the frame, the mindset now. I'm in an F1 car. I don't have to worry about those turns. I don't have to turn in so soon. See, like, I'm braking early and stuff. Oh my god, look at this, look at this! Oh, I don't even know what to do here. Excuse me, fellas. Oh, God. So, they had a patch yesterday for AI. I feel like they broke it. Excuse me, get out of my way, bro. I probably should have turned on full yellow, because now the front pack is... Wait, I'm in second. No, I'm in first. Oh, my God. Like, where was the yellow flag? We just got the green flag. Jeez. I feel like I need to wait for them to catch up, because that was not what I had in mind. I guess I'll race with this guy. And I'm waiting essentially for Project Motor Racing to come out. That could be hit or miss. It's got a lot of hype behind it. I like the idea behind it. No subscription, cross-platform. I'm just putting off iRacing to really kind of cross everything else off the list first. So I really don't like the subscription model, but again, if I'm streaming and doing this a lot, the subscription model isn't really that big a deal. But I don't like how there's a subscription model, and then everything else in the game costs money. I will say, I don't know which is more realistic. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably this one, but this or F125, because I play F125 and the physics are so different it's not even funny. That game definitely feels more like a game compared to this. Because in what I just did right there, I could do full swing in F125. I don't know if the Automobilista, I'm just going to say AMS. I don't know if the AMS2 slide physics are ideal for the right sensations for a car like this. Because these cars don't do that. It is an arcade, that's for sure. So what is the Black Friday deal for iRacing right now? Yeah, there's almost no grip in this by comparison to F125. Alright, this is just going to be solo laps at this point. I don't know what happened in the AI right there, but that pileup was kind of ridiculous. Passed everybody but the leader. Turn 3, lap 1. Alright, so 50% off new subs, 25% off existing. The way I justify iRacing is the game is always developing. I mean, that's important. That's extremely important. There is nothing more toxic and bullshit, in my opinion, than this, like, you know, iPhone and Android style of creating games. Every year you got to buy a new game and everything you just spent money on last time is gone. You know, Call of Duty, all this stuff. It's so infuriating. I want to buy a game or a sim, whatever you want to call it, and you keep on playing it for years to come. You can, if it's crazy how there's a very, very low chance of you getting my money by giving me a new game every year with like F121, F122, F123. I have F125. It's the first F1 game I've bought so far. And it might be the last one. I like the game, but the fact that it's going to be a dead game when F126 comes out, to me, it's like I'm not going to buy into that. However, if you just called it EA F1 and it was, say, a 5-year span or a 10-year span, whatever, but you kept doing microtransactions where it was like, hey, buy these new tracks, buy this stuff, I'm more likely to give you my money, because like, yeah, well, you know, I get it, content's not free. I do believe in like microtransactions to an extent where they're not egregious, where it's like, hey, we want to continue to develop our game, but we don't work for free. So I understand having to pay for things. I have everything in AMS, you know, so I don't know. I'm more likely to spend money on things if it's an ever-developing system. So, all right. Every season, whatever pissed people off from the past season will be addressed. There's not many sims you can say that with. F125 only has value in its career mode. It's a game with no reason to have a yearly release. I agree. It would be cool if they did do something like that, because I do like F1 cars. I just don't think that, like, F1 is a dedicated F1 game, and there's not enough feature there for just an F1 game. Like, where this game shines is this part sucks here. I really wish career mode was a real thing. And they say it's coming in 2026. But this game here has absolutely no single-player style to it. You have single race, you have championship, but like, if I do a single race and I win or I quit after I get to first place, there's no difference. I don't get rewarded or punished for either one of those decisions. There's nothing here. But it's fun, and there's a massive amount of variety. So I wonder what... I want to see what tires I selected for that. So that if that was on softs, that was rough. Let's just click start and then go to the tire selection and see what it gives me. Because I just ran with whatever was default, and the car was way too loose. Now, some of it's AMS, and it's slide physics. But, like, that felt too slidey. Not for a modern-day F1 car. So what was I on? I was on softs. Yeah, that's no good. That's my least favorite feeling so far in AMS, is the F1 car. That F1 car. The older ones feel pretty good, but I don't use the formula wheel for those. I use the H pattern and standard round wheel. I don't know why I just keep backing out of that. Well, like, for example, let me switch hands here. Look at the variety in cars. I don't know if you play anything but iRacing, but the variety in this is pretty wild for a game I don't have to pay for at all. I mean, obviously I had to pay for it up front, but these things are ridiculous, by the way. They're absolutely ridiculous. This car here, I love this car. Lotus Renault. What do I want to rip on here? AC with mods. What were some of the best content? That's where some... I agree. I unfortunately have not... I've played Assetto. I have not dove into the modding world at all, and I need to, because I've been a computer guy my entire life. Like, 30 plus years I've been building computers, so for me... I should say 30 plus. It's more like 29, but... I come from the modding world. Like, that's all there was on computers, because games didn't really come out nearly close to, like, console was still the king when I started doing this. This is... I love this. I want to change the livery, though. What do we got here to play with? I like the basic silver. What do we... Oh, my bad. Oh, Jesus. Content manager is super easy. That's all it is. So let me ask you this. If I subscribe to iRacing, how much content is missing that I have to pay for? If I want to say, right now, I want to buy everything iRacing has to offer, how much money am I looking at? What do I personally want? Everything. Like, for example, some of my favorite cars to drive in this game so far are Sauber Mercedes, the Group C. I love the Group C car. 787B is what's missing from this. It can be modded in, but it bothers me that it's not in there because it's such an iconic Group C car. Like, the Corvette can go. I don't care. I like Corvettes. I don't care about this one. This car should be the 787B. I love the McLaren F1 GTR. I love the new, or not new, but newly added Viper GTS-R. This is one of my go-to test cars for testing hardware and track stuff and all that jazz. I love driving this car. But then I also like, you know, a little two-stroke shifter kart. The LMP cars are like cheat codes. They're so easy to drive. But that's where that doesn't matter. That's how easy the cars are to drive. Competition's competition. If it's easy to drive for you, it's easy to drive for everybody else. Problem is I just like variety. So I'd want it all. You get a lot of opportunities to go racing with just the base content. So are there any like LMP cars or Group C car? Group C, I think for me is probably some of the most fun. Am I going to possibly set up a race through here some night? Absolutely. I want to do a couple more weeks of streaming, maybe even a month, or maybe even get through the holidays. I probably won't go that long, but I definitely want to do some competitive online racing with people. You know? 750 you heard? Is that $750 in terms of content, or what is that related to? But yeah, no, I'm 100% gonna do, not tournaments, I want to do a league. Just like people have leagues for, like fantasy football, Jesus. Whew. It's late, leave me alone. People have fantasy football leagues. I want to start a sim racing league, my own sim racing league. I have my own Discord, obviously, EJR Racing, but right now it's a private server that anybody can invite anybody once they're in there, but you can't find it. It's not like it's a public Discord. That might go public, it depends, and then I'll have to make a private one again, or maybe I'll just start a public one, whatever. But I do want to get stuff like that going. Oh, alright, let's try a modern LMP car, or a more modern LMP car. Alphabetical order, Evan. You got this. All right, here we go. 2005s. Gen 1, Gen 2. Nope, I didn't want that. Where is the McLaren hypercar? There we go. BMW. That way I'll recognize it more often. Give it the old Aston Martin green. Alright, let's take the Valkyrie around Spa. Alright, we won't be able to license level for a bit. It took me a few months to get past Class D. I'm not in, like... With me, I like I said, I'm waiting... So, for example, I picked up a controller. I bought Gran Turismo 7 for $10 on sale. I picked up a controller, played for about 1 hour, put it down, didn't look at it for 3 months. I decided, you know, I think it's about that time that I get into the sim racing stuff. Bought myself a G923. And then I put between a G923 and a Logitech DD. I put in over 1,000 hours on Gran Turismo. and then I beat that game so badly to death that I never want to play it again. And everything else I think is better anyway. I think Gran Turismo is a great game from a content standpoint. There's just a lot of things you can do, but from a pure racing standpoint, it's absolutely the worst experience in my opinion. Gran Turismo, I'm convinced, has an algorithm baked into the coding that introduces RNG, or a random number generator. Like, I will take the same turn 10 times in a row on tires that are not affected by anything. So it's like there's no tire wear, nothing like that. There's no tire temperature. It's just stagnant assist on, essentially, when it comes to that type of stuff. And then, for some reason, every once in a while, there is this weird effect that happens where that isn't what should have happened, and it happens all the time. And I would blame myself, but it happens too often to where, like, I've done this so many times, that should not have happened from a predictability standpoint. And that happens a lot in Gran Turismo. And I would default say, hey, it's probably just me, but everything else I've played doesn't do that. When I crash in just about every other game, I feel like it is on me. But anyway, I really want to see what Project Motor Racing does, because for me, it's all roads point to iRacing. It's kind of like in the motorcycle world that I come from. No matter what you're into, at least for straight line motorcycle racing, all roads end up pointing back to Hayabusa. Even though they're not very fast out of the box, that's the end game, no matter where you start. And I feel like that's sort of iRacing. iRacing is the end game for sim racing. So I know that if I start iRacing and I get hooked on the grind of iRacing, I'm probably never going to play anything else ever again. So that's why I'm putting off iRacing. I'm having a lot of fun with AMS. ACC's, I think, a great solo simulator for me. So, like, I don't enjoy online. It's okay with friends. But as a casual multiplayer game, I think it's terrible. So, for example, if I have a couple friends load up or queue up in a lobby, and we get into a practice session, and then we start a qualifying session, and one of them gets booted, we just wasted all that time. Now we got to start over and do the whole setup all over again. And it takes time. So you spend more time setting up racing than you do actual racing. AMS, just make a lobby and you go. Downside, no console players. Obviously, iRacing can't. But another thing, the reason why I want to get into Project Motor Racing is because I have a lot of friends, a lot of close friends, that also have Sims that only have a PlayStation or only have an Xbox. And they aren't ready to dive into the computer world that I've been part of for years, long before sim racing. And they don't have iRacing. They don't have AMS. They have Gran Turismo, Boo, and they have their version of ACC, which I had it on PS5 and PC, and it is noticeably worse on PS5. But Project Motor Racing's coming to both, and it's going to be crossplay. That's why I really want to give that a chance, and I'm praying. I don't really care too much about AI. The AI looks pretty bad. The AI looks like what you just saw with that Formula 1 car. That looks like Project Motor Racing's AI. It's fine. I don't care. For me, I am chasing the experience of I want to be able to league race, start a league, race with people competitively, and the physics feel like, for me, if I can't go on a solo lap and enjoy what I'm doing, the physics aren't good. Gran Turismo, bored as hell, drive doing solo laps. I feel like I'm just fighting some random number generator. Cars don't do what I want them to do. This game, I make solo laps, I have a great time. So, a lot of rambling. Let's try out the Valkyrie in Spa. I have no experience with the Valkyrie in this game. I've used it in Gran Turismo. Another game or a sim I don't like that is wildly hyped up and everybody loves, LMU. It's okay. It's not that I don't like it. It's just okay. I went into LMU expecting after 1.0 that it was going to be some mind-blowing race experience, and it's just okay. The force feedback is shallow, to say the least. It's there, it's fun, it works, it's responsive, but if I'm chasing an experience, I don't get it from LMU. I heard that if you bought everything plus your monthly. I just bought cars I like and tracks I like. I didn't buy anything. Why does it start me like that? I got a track war. You put me off the track. Whoa, whoa, there are no brakes. We might have to retry that because I was to the floor on the brakes and that car did not even attempt to stop. How fast was I going? Let's try that again. Is this car really stopped that poorly? Or is that this game's interpretation of it? Did it again. I'll be ready for it. Give me some space, boys. New driver over here. So we're doing 140. What? What tires am I on? Mediums. All right, let's return to pits. Skip 10. All right. I guess exit to main menu there. I don't know what that's about. Let's hope this car magically stops amazing. I know the tires were cold, and I know we're on mediums, but, like... that was terrible. My regular street car that has all-season Garbo tires on it from 140 would stop better than that. That was rough. That was rough, boys. And possibly girls, but most likely just boys, to be honest. Sim racing is a very niche thing. It's even more niche when a chick's into it. Retirement, everything. Man, $750. Whew. Alright, so edit setup. Alright, let's try soft slicks. See if this is any better. Alright, so we know the tires are going to be cold, so I'm going to chill. I'm going to hang back. See if I can get somewhat of an experience driving this car. Tires are actually warm. That's bad, man. Has anybody driven the Valkyrie in any other game? Does it stop like that in all of them? Because by stop like that, I mean doesn't. Screw it. At this point, who cares? So most importantly, I would say, what tracks are available in the base subscription? So I just get my subscription, and then I want to play. How far can I go with that? Here's the thing. Do I have the Nordschleife? That is my favorite track. In my opinion, like, that's mandatory for any game. You need the Nordschleife. It stops a little better after the outlap, but it said the tires were warm both times, so I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to go up that in 6th gear next time. So have either one of you guys played Automobilista? Or primarily iRacing? Because this game's like slide physics. Some cars it works for really well and I like it. Other cars, like, I just don't believe that this car is this slidey. Now obviously I've never driven a Valkyrie to know, but so I think I know what I want to do. I know exactly what I want to do. We're going to compare. I know exactly what I want to do. I just had an idea. So we're going to do a car around the Nordschleife that I know is in both this and ACC, and we're going to do the Nordschleife on both, and we're going to compare the physics of how the car handles it. You're all AC, ACC, and iRacing. Probably around 1,600, maybe less, with bulk discounts, but no one uses iRacing like that. I only buy what I want. No, but iRacing is instead of just have a new driver jump on Nords. You're meant to be stuck in the lower classes for a bit. Gotcha. So it's closest to the real thing without being the real thing. Got it. But you can test any track on your own, on any car if you buy it. Lots. No, you can buy it. So, I mean, I would buy the Nordschleife, and I would probably buy a few cars, and that's where I would start from. Like, can I, like, okay, so can I get an iRacing? If I wanted to, let's say, like, okay, can't see it on my screen right now, but can I just jump into, say, like, right here, like a test day? So, let's just say this is the main menu of iRacing. Can I just go over to, say, like this, and just get in any car, if I own it, if I've paid for it, and take it around that track, and do my own personal racing to practice? Or do I have to get into mandatory league-related stuff or whatever? If you own the content, yes. Okay. I just don't want to feel like I'm paying a subscription to go through the grind of something and be forced to follow their strategy and their system, which, again, I don't mind. I like the idea of having that, but I also like to be able to deviate and do whatever the hell I want to do with something that I'm paying for, you know? That whole mentality of you'll own nothing and you like it is modern-day everything. So anyway, alright. Test day. Alright, let's pick a car. Let's pick a GT3 car. Since, let's face it, that's ACC. Alright, alphabetical order. I gotta remember that. It's insane that I can't. My brain doesn't work well. So the McLaren 720S, I do believe, is in ACC, correct? Correct. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? Clippy? The 720S is in ACC? I don't remember. Honestly, my favorite car in ACC, just because they've captured the audio so amazingly, is the RCF. I love that car. It gives me chills just starting that thing. I know the AMG's in it. I wish the ISF was in this. can get the same quality racing with the cars included as the ones you buy. LaFleur says iRacing is the way. Brown Santa iRacing and F125. That's crazy because it's such a polar opposite experience, iRacing versus F125. I will say F125 is a very welcoming type game. You can tell it's an EA game. It just wants to get everybody in there. Because I just lost to my buddy who's only done a few laps the other day on controller. And I was making clean, good laps. And he was just steadily in front of me, and I was pacing behind him. And he's on controller. And that's what also kind of sucks about games like F125. There's like no skill gap. And skill gap is how you separate yourself. So I'm sitting there executing things perfectly, and there's a guy on a PS5 controller in front of me just going... You know? iRacing has offline championships with really good AI racing. Sucks it's behind the subscription still. I will never mind a subscription if it's got me wanting to play it. I don't like the subscription with a lot of purchasable content, because to me it's like, okay, I would rather, like, okay, charge me $100 for this game and load me up with a bunch of base content. That way, like, let's just say hypothetically I buy a bunch of content in the game. I buy tracks, I buy cars, I buy all this stuff, and then I stop paying my subscription. I don't have access to the things I just paid for. But people who stick to iRacing can't find what iRacing is. I believe that. You know? I don't mind the subscription because where else can I get 12-minute races every hour of the day at any time? No, I agree. There are absolutely advantages to their system, and something's got to pay for it, which is why I understand the subscription model. I just, at the same time, I'm also very much in the opposite direction of, I am so anti, you'll own nothing and you'll like it. You got to pay to own nothing. Everything's a rental. Like Call of Duty, mandatory being online. Gran Turismo for PlayStation, mandatory online. Like, that's, again... So, let me ask you guys his thoughts. Because reviews right now, or projected thoughts, are very mixed. What are your guys' thoughts on Project Motor Racing? I don't pre-purchase things. I did pre-order that, but it's on Steam. If it sucks, I'll get my money back. But wary, I think, is a good word for it, because it definitely has too good to be true written all over it. Because no offline... no mandatory online. You can... Crossplay for me is so big because, again, I have a lot of friends who are diehard into this, but they haven't built themselves a computer yet. So they're stuck on a console. So they're stuck with things like Gran Turismo. And for me, first of all, as someone who owns a business, not doing this, but is in the racing world, it makes sense financially to get like a diehard game onto consoles, or diehard sim onto consoles, to just take their money, you know? I know a lot of these sims are done by much smaller studios, but I feel like if Project Motor... here's the thing. I fully expect Project Motor Racing to be problematic on day one. If you are expecting all of those features and all of the stuff that they're promising and a perfect operation of all those things on day one, you're not living in reality. So I'm fully expecting the game to have bugs. The replays, so the in-game graphics, the actual ones that I'm going to see when racing, they're not the best, but I don't mind them, you know? I'm not playing a racing sim for the best graphics on the planet. They need to be good enough to make me feel like I'm not playing a joke of a video game, but like iRacing doesn't have great graphics, and it's arguably the best one that exists. So I'm fine with the graphics. The replay graphics, let's face it, they look like ass. But But again, I don't care. I don't even watch replays. However, the only thing that where I would care about replay graphics is when I save a replay and I want to make it into a video. But the AI looks bad. That will get hopefully polished after release throughout time. AI is an ever-evolving thing. Like, in my opinion, AMS2 has some of the best AI compared to everything else I've played. And I think it's still pretty bad. So, writing a game off because its AI is bad is silly, in my opinion. Because AI is never perfect. It's only good enough to entertain you. But that's all it has to be. Because the reality of it is, you're only using AI to practice racing good other players. So as long as the game, Project Motor Racing, can nail crossplay, make it so that, hey, let's jump into a lobby, and boom, me and my friends go in there and we go racing. The physics and the force feed, force feeder doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be decent. The physics are what needs to be good. And it can do all those other things and be offline if you don't, like, so the other day, my internet went down. I was able to play AMS. That was great. I loved it. I wouldn't have been able to play Gran Turismo, a console game. You know? So, mandatory online play, that not being a thing, is fantastic. So, I think they have the recipe, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Because I don't expect the game to be perfect. You shouldn't either. But as long as they release a decent 1.0 game, because LMU 1.0, I'm sorry. If that was revered and got all the hype that it got in its 1.0 state, if the community of sim racing accepts that as good, I'm sorry, but I think Project Motor Racing will be fine, in my opinion, if that is the bar. Now, I'm not saying you guys say LMU is, but the way LMU was talked about and everybody just dove into it, from Gran Turismo people and iRacing people dove into LMU. The amount of videos that got spammed from the physics of LMU versus iRacing. Clearly, LMU gained some traction. And when I played that, I was like, it's not bad. It's just, this isn't pulling me into this. I need to play LMU. No, I think ACC and AMS are far better. I just think ACC's online play is... If you get a lobby where people don't give a shit about racing, it's a terrible experience. Because I will say this. I know it's meant to be realistic because sim, but crashing in ACC has got to be the worst experience in all of racing. Sim racing that I've experienced so far. It just... Once you crash, or even get into like a little slow, you might as well just quit. Because you're going to have to wait for the entire grid to pass. You can't pull back out. And then you're back in last place. And the race is over. And it takes so long to get back in the race. It was accessible iRacing. Yes, I agree. I just don't think what I got out of it was anything worth while. You need to try it on your rig? I agree, I've tried it on your rig. Because I can definitely tell you that sim racing is a wildly subjective experience. So, like, the settings that people tell me I should leave on for this particular wheelbase, I think are awful. That's wheel centering thing, I do want to show that too. All right, let me ask you this, guys, for those of you who are watching. Do you want to see a before and after of going down the straight with that wheel centering at 100%? Versus 0, and how it affects the wheel? Or would you prefer to see the physics of AMS in the same car on the Nordschleife versus on the on ACC on the Nordschleife? Which of those things would you like to do? I have time to do both tonight, but which one do you want to see first? I've been doing a lot of talking. I want to say the 720S is in AM. I mean, it really isn't going to matter. I'm showing off the physics, not chasing lap times. ACC Nords for sure. Isn't that a new update? I mean, the latest expansion for ACC was the Nordschleife. But it was like one of the first ones that I actually bought for it because I love the Nordschleife. Well, technically they don't have the Nordschleife. They have the full Grand Prix and Nordschleife combo circuit, the 24-hour track. All right, so let's take the 720S around the track. No, I lied. Let's take the AMG GT because I know this car is in. I think this might even have this particular one in ACC. Hard tires. That's a bummer. I like grip. Might be because GTD. All right, we got softs on this one, so. Oh, yeah, I missed some. Right, but you treat it more like members' dues. iRacing isn't going anywhere in the future, and games like LMU and PMR will fill a good gap, but won't have the budget to rival. I mean, that's why I said all roads always point to iRacing. No matter what, if you're into sim racing for the long haul, you'll be on iRacing. But I just want to make sure that I experience other things before I end it with iRacing. I will say there's a lot of speculation on this wheelbase. I know I just changed things up. That problematic firmwares and stuff like that. Now, mind you, I only got this thing after the latest firmware that supposedly fixed any problems with it. I mean, noise people complaining about. If you've ever had a cog-driven or belt-driven wheelbase, I'm sorry, this wheelbase is not loud. This thing is dead silent. Any level of volume from anything, I don't know this thing's on. It has a little bit of a... like a churning... This is going to sound awful. But it has like this very churning, blendery sound. But like this like... constant sound, but it's very subtle and quiet. It's like if you had a blender that was turned all the way down on the volume, but just a little bit, and there was nothing inside it. That's still a terrible analogy. Alright, so slicks. I know it's already on, but just making sure. I've driven Iris in 2018. The fact that I've bought content since then makes the cost much less of a problem. Barrier to entry is really annoying and requires a decision to make an investment. I don't mind spending the money if I'm getting the return. I mean, I've thrown money at sim racing irresponsibly because of how addicted I got to it. So, like, I have the money I have in one of my motorcycles could build this entire room that I'm in of tech and then some. So when it comes to spending money on things that I want or need, I'm not against spending money. I just don't want to waste money. Alright, let's try this out. That's weird. I put it in a... my sequential was in 6th, so it just automatically put it in 6th. God, this car is so relaxed and tame compared to what I'm used to. Oh, tires. She didn't like that. This car is making a horrible driveline whistling sound. I will say ACC has got the soundstage down pat. That's another thing. How is the soundstage in iRacing? Is it like compared to ACC? Like for me, there's nothing better sounding than the RCF in ACC. That should have been second gear. Every car is so different around this track. See if I can do this at wide open. Yep. Oh, turning a little too soon. Spatial sound is amazing. Too wide. Hold on, I'm gonna read. It's definitely not right for everyone. Much better than it used to be. A lot of the newer cars stepped it up. Their spatial sound is amazing. How was cockpit view, I guess? How's that sound? Because that's where I either... So my two views that I go with, which the next one most people hate, is my other favorite. So I either like this view or... right here. Essentially license plate or bumper cam. It's not good for racing, but for solos, I really like it. Time trials, stuff like that. It's obviously not good for racing because you can't see anything past the bumper of another car. So you really got to know the track to use this view. This isn't a bad one too because it gives you a lot of real estate to see and it's up a little bit higher. But from an immersion standpoint, this is the view. Man, this car is a stove, isn't it? I will say AMS has one of the bumpiest carousels I've had in the Nordschleife so far. Jesus. Yeah, it's hard to stay in the carousel, it's so bumpy. I keep getting stuck between deciding on second or third gear with this car. All right, let me get out of this. I want to show you my favorite car to take around this track in this particular game is the Viper. iRacing only has cockpit view. Got it, got it. I mean, I'm okay with that. If everybody's got the same view, I will never complain about competing on a level playing field. Even if it's a view I don't like, that's fine. Everybody's using it. Where are we at here? Oh, yeah. I love this car. They did such a good job implementing this car in this game. It's usually low so we can talk to each other. So let's see. Where are you guys from, by the way? Weird third-person glitch in test drive? Well, I do not like third-person views. The memes are hysterical of people that are behind the vehicle on their sims. I assume that's Texas. Alright. Alright. Oh, we're on cold tires right now. I love this car. I shouldn't be pushing it on cold tires, but for the sake of just not giving a shit and having fun, I don't care. Ah! Warm up. Let's go. We're getting there. I'm driving the car like its tires are warm, but they're not. It's weird. The visual physics are oversteer city. So you constantly feel like you're going to oversteer, but you're understeering. It really is its own simulator. Whereas ACC, you feel like you're glued to the ground. This car, like I said, they did a good job with this car, but it's one of the most recent cars. Oh. It feels more natural. Like, the way I can explain it, from an animation standpoint, your front tires are on softs, and your rear tires are on wets. But it's not spinning out like that's the case. It handles like the wets are on the front and the softs are on the back. But visually it looks like the opposite. It's very strange. But this car, they did a good job. I don't know why it's different. Maybe it's just because it's a newer car and they supposedly they did a physics update when they released this car. Maybe it was implemented better with this car, or because I can drive this car so much closer to the edge and feel more comfortable with it. By the way, am I yelling compared to game sound? Because I have my headset up pretty loud. So I'm only yelling at or talking at a decibel that I think is right based off what I'm hearing. So if I need to not yell or tone the volume down, I will. engine braking is so clutch. Whenever you start to understeer, a little downshift, and it kicks the ass out, and it straightens you back out. Oh, look. That's the most shake you'll get, and that's only with this wheel. The round wheel won't shake at all. But like, look. If I turn that centering feature on, I'd be holding on the whole time. I waited way too long. That's a good place to end it. Yeah, I waited way too long there to get back to driving. All right, so let's switch over to ACC. This car looks much better than I've seen. Toronto, Canada. GTD car at most sport and iRacing sounds just as good as yours now. iRacing is difficult for a lot of people because you have to commit to the first time you turn in. You basically chuck it in the corner, then lighten up. Yeah. Interesting. All right, so let's back out of this. I am going to have to use a little boys' room before firing up ACC. Nope, wrong one. Hopefully Evo, when it comes out, does fairly good. Okay. Hold that thought, I'll be right back.
Green light, go, go, go.
Thank you for that. Been talking this whole time and just looked down and saw I was muted. Oh, I gotta fire my tech support. For the sake of having a little bit of fun, let's kill TC altogether. So we can do stuff like this. Yeah, like this car is so glued to the ground by comparison to AMS. Like, that's just lack of TC. Trying to drift some of these turns. It's not working out too well. Alright, I'll put TC on 1. Yeah, when it comes to fidelity and graphics so far, ACC is crushing it with the Nordschleife. That was slow. I do want to change some of my force feedback a little because I haven't spent much time with ACC. So I want to increase the mechanical friction slider a little bit, see how that feels. Let me do that quick. So, mechanical friction. This is a slider that I do recommend if you do get one of these wheelbases you play with. This is like a much more natural, authentic version of, say, a mechanical dampener. So the damper just makes the wheel harder to turn from a, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just, it doesn't create forward feedback, it makes it worse. Whereas this is force feedback, it's just in the form of, like, the best way I can explain it, it's like you have a heavier steering rack. So it's just harder to turn your steering rack. And you fight it more through force feedback. So going up to 100, let's just see how that feels in this. Because it automatically switched over to ACC. So let's try that out quick. Another thing I want to do quick. What am I doing here? Brain ain't working. Try 85. Save. I'm on the P1000s. But I have the spring kit in the brakes because I don't like elastomers. The biggest thing about a brake is repeatability. And elastomers, they never feel like it's the same brake every time. I always feel like there's a variety in how warm the elastomers get from constant use and, you know. Hey, anybody in chat right now, want to do me a favor? Do 85% of 18. Whatever that number is. I only ask because that's what I would be at for peak torque. It's an 18 Newton meter base. It's maxed out on the base, and it's at 85% in the game. So, hey, look. Now, real quick, I'll put it on while I have a moment. Where's my mouse? Right here. Now let's see if this thing just starts going nuts. Lord. It wants to. It's not doing it too bad. Oh, wow, you can feel it right there. Fucking Christ. Alright, turn that back down. Let's see. Try this quick. See how that feels. See if I can drift this. Need to be in second gear. Not enough mile an hour to drift in first. Wish I can clutch kick it. That didn't work. Too busy trying to work a clutch. Oh my god. Alright, so ACC is such a nice driver sim. I agree. I think it's the best one. When it comes to just getting in a car and driving, I don't think this game can be rivaled. At least, again, I haven't tried iRacing, but I don't know if iRacing is going to be that game. Alright, so what do we want to see next? What do we want to do next? There's all sorts of shit I can do. I'm probably going to... See, here's the problem that I have with ACC. Outside of what I just did, I don't know, I'm just... there's not much... Like, I would rather go play AMS. There's just more to do. GT3 cars are fun, but you drive one and... Outside of audio and a little bit of handling characteristics, you've done it all. See. Where was this Black Friday thing? Please don't buy through Steam. But continuity. I'm not buying it right now anyway. I'm just looking. I don't even think I have LMU installed. I was so, like, not into it. I even have Forza installed. That's how, like... You want to see dumb AI. I don't mind downloading everything. I got 8 terabytes of storage, so... Look at all the games I don't have installed. Nothing to do with sim stuff, but... But you want to see dumb AI. This game has the worst AI I have ever seen. So, like, everybody's complaining about... I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of the comments I'm seeing complaining about Project Motor Racing's AI, they clearly haven't played Forza. This game in its finished, never going to get updated ever again state is insane how bad the AI is. I'm talking, they will pit you, and then they will just drive through you. Like, they will stay full steam ahead, nose to door, just plowing you up through you without even an attempt to turn. They're just following their automated line. It's insane. True robots. I'd say AI, but that requires intelligence. F-125. This game's a lot of fun, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty bad at rally stuff. Battlefield 6, super hyped. Not me. I don't care. 13 hours on it? Wow, I can't believe I played that much. I'm hyped for AC EVO, I'll say that. That could potentially be a real killer down the line. And I do have a backlog to go through, that's for sure. So where do you get iRacing? Do you get it... I assume they have their own system you get it through? Their own proprietary software? CUI, then you run everything through there. Gotcha. So what other disadvantages are there besides on Steam other than downloading 200 gigabytes? I only ask because I would rather get it through Steam unless there are significant advantages to getting it through its own system, because I like pulling up one system for my games. Have a little more fun too. Much as I love this wheel and I love racing with a Formula wheel, from a driving and having fun standpoint, I'm not as fast. But round wheel and the H pattern is just where it's at from a fun standpoint. Let's do this. I gotta go classic blue on this one. Gen 2 Viper will always be blue to me. Running it on Steam is fine, you just have a lot of weird behaviors that Steam forces, billing and no control of download size mainly. Gotcha. My buddy Lewis was supposed to get on here. I was supposed to kick his ass in some racing and some AMS, but, you know, responsibilities sometimes get in the way. Let's see what the Nordschleife 2020 is. Just how it compares. I'm so used to doing the 2025 in this one. Let's see if it's any different. I know it's just a scan, but... Long Beach? I'll do some... Oh, this is a race, right? Or did I mess that up? I wasn't paying attention. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, alright, it's a race. Alright. On mediums, definitely want to be on softs. I just want to... Not trying to achieve any title here, just trying to have a little more fun, and I want a little more control. Ah, car's finally blue again. Sorry, bro. I am not paying attention. That could have been bad. Oops. Rubbin's racing. Sorry. Missed fifth. Oh, I didn't do that, bro. That was all you. I did not touch you. Oops. I knew that was risky. Didn't care. It's only AI. Alright, see if I can get any of them in the draft here. I just want to try and get to the front of the pack. I'm not doing 5 laps. That's too much. Hold up! Oh, I thought I overtook you. I guess not. Oops. Stay on the track. All right. Let's go get the leader. He's got some distance. 5 seconds, huh? Damn, that hurt. So is Long Beach where you want me to race on my next track? Vote in chat. Comment below. All the other YouTube slang words. I'm gaining ground on this guy, but it doesn't feel like it. Not with driving like that. I want to get this guy before finish a lap 2. Oh, downshift, Evan. Whoa, whoa, loose. That was an opportunity there right there that I just blew. So in my head, I'm pretending that this is only 2 laps. And if I'm in front of him at the finish line, I win. And if I'm behind him, I come in second. Come on, give me the draft. Alright. That works too. That was a bit more anticlimactic in the straight than I thought it was going to be. He just moved over and let me go. Alright, here we go. Sloppy, but we're good. Whoa, shit. All right. As far as I'm concerned, that's a win. Oh, all right. All right, so what track should we go with now? We're going to be focusing on round wheel and H pattern. Oh my god. At Long Beach. Ooh, ooh. I do not know Long Beach at all. My god. All right, what we got? 5 laps. Clippy must have got off because chat went quiet. There's plenty of you out there still. So chat, what's your favorite sim? This is going to be a pretty rough one to watch, not going to lie. I've never driven this track, ever. That's the start. Oh. Why are we still in reverse? Holy mother of God. Alright, this track ain't my jam. At least not in this car. I need a... That's borderline a go-kart track or an F1 track for me. Alright. Do Le Mans. This is the one problem with having this many tracks. Not knowing what to pick in a pinch. I don't know why, something about this track is fun. But it needs to be in a faster car because it's all straight. So where my group C's at? Alphabetical order, I gotta remember that. This is this song's I've gotta go. Little boy's room break. Let's start that over. I was distracted. Not. Restart session. Ugh. So you guys in chat right now, or viewing I should say, not so much in chat, where y'all from? Mobile, Alabama. I was out that way a month ago or so, tuning motorcycles. I'm wondering why everybody's going so slow. It says cooldown lap right in front of my face. The hell? My front butt kicker makes all sorts of noise. Originally moved from Texas. Originally from Texas, moved to Louisiana for 5 years. Now in Mobile, Alabama. Chasing work. What do you do for work? Construction. Yeah, found out next night. You went to the gas station downtown everyone meets at, but heard you went to Florida that night. Yeah, I was there twice this summer. But I got probably till 2 o'clock, so another 45 minutes or so in me. Let's see, what do we got for LMP cars? Let's try it out. Never used it. Let's see what happens. Actually, let's go without the gloves for a minute. I'm sick of putting them on and off. Oh wait, we need the race wheel. Ugh. So am I in neutral or first? I have conflicting information here. My wheel says neutral. My gear indicator says 1. Sure, let's send it. Excuse me. Coming through. Go, baby, go. This just feels like follow the leader. Oh, flipped him over. Sorry. That's second one. All right. You can tell I'm getting a little on the tired side. My driving etiquette is dropping. Luckily, this is AI, so it doesn't matter. What other race cars we got we can try here? Ooh, there we go. You know, let's try the a Ferrari. Not on Le Mans though. No, screw it. Let's do Watkins Glen. Try and go for authenticity here. I can never tell if it's on. All right, we're on. We're good. All right. Cheater! Alright, get back in front of me again. Bro. This car handles quite well. Did I look at any of the Fanatec wheels or pedals? Yeah, I mean, I browsed a lot of things. I window shopped a lot of things. But in all honesty, the only thing I wanted from Fanatec was the new stuff that's not out yet. Their new pedals they released, the Podium 1 pedals, or no, just the Podium pedals. Those are beautiful. But like, I already know those things are going to be $1 million, and I want to have nice shit, but at the same time, I don't want to spend an insane amount of money. And all the new stuff is very comparable these days, so. Are we just gonna not let me turn, or what? Dude, the AI, come on. There are so many good choices for sim racing components now that it's really hard to give a recommendation because they're just all good. So in all honesty, buy whichever one you like that based off of the looks, in all honesty. They're all good. Does your wife hate you? Nah. I'm much better with my money than a lot of people are. That being said, sim racing is on a spiraling financial end for me. feel like this would be a really fun car around the Nürburgring. It's a decent ride. Is the mouse boat on here? I don't know. It's like any other sim. You kind of just sort of pick the cars you like the best and stick with them. Because they're all over the map. Especially in a game like this, it's got all sorts of variety. I don't know where you're going, but you should probably hit the gas pedal, buddy. Oh! What is happening? Go! That was interesting. Well, it gives me something to do for another 2.5 laps. I don't know what that was. You got any plans, Mr. Santa, to get any new gear? Sim racing gear? Alright, go easy this time. We don't want to just drift off the track for no real reason. Maybe pedals? Pedals are definitely the most important part. Easily the most important part. Your feet being comfortable. Steering is relatively easy. Pedal control is like all the art of driving. Like that was all pedals. That entire horrible turn right there, all poor pedal control. Victory is mine. All right, checkered flag, you can stop blinking in my face now. I'm an idiot. I forgot to go down to the pit. That's fine, we finished. Skip cooldown lap. Exit main menu. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do... I'm going to bring that car around the Nordschleife once, because that car drove really nice. I like the sound of it. Overall, decent physics. It's a newer car, so... It seems all the newer cars in this game got decent physics. So I'm going to take this car on a solo run around the Nordschleife. And then I'm probably going to get off. After Christmas, you'll be iRacing more. Are you interested in Project Motor Racing? I know we talked about it briefly. I can't remember if you were into it or not. Because that's the one... So I'm hoping... I'm really hoping that Project Motor Racing is decent to where... I can do the league with that game. I know I can do it with F1 25 because it's such a... I want to say easy game, but by comparison, it's an easy game. Nope. Yeah, this is what I... Ooh. All red, though. Real quick. Black or all red? I feel like I have to go all red because it's Ferrari, but... I think I gotta go red. Yeah, I'm doing it. Alright. Let's rip this thing around the Nordschleife. I'm gonna try this in sequential, because this is a sequential car, not an H pattern. So... Is it your computer individual? I'm going to stick with H pattern. Is it your computer individually, or it's like a software issue? Like a hardware or software issue is what I'm trying to say. What GPU do you have? Oops, not paying attention. Ow. You're hoping I have oh, I gotta restart this. The FPS issue? I don't have an FPS issue with it. What 3090 is plenty of graphics card to run that game. Do you have ray tracing on? Anything related to ray tracing, just turn that shit off. Should have downshifted. I'm being lazy. It's not the car. This car actually does drive very nice. I'm just being a chump right now. What I'll do is, since I got a little bit of time, I'll jump on F125 after. Yeah, I'm just going to do it now, since I'm driving like a sack of potatoes right now. So I'll show you basically my settings. I have the game maxed. I have a 5090, but you don't need that to run that game smooth. What do you have for a monitor in terms of refresh rate? So you see all my stuff here is at 144 hertz. That's because my panel that I'm using is 144 hertz. It's my LG OLED TV. And actually going to turn off my haptics for a second here. So I lock my frame rate at 144. So I'll unlock it. So I don't like to... So because I'm streaming with my computer and gaming with my same computer, I don't feel the need to chase frames I can't see. So if I can, like, for example, in AMS, I get like 300 FPS, but I only see 144 of it. It's intentional. There's no point in loading up the graphics card to push frames that I can't see when I also have to rely on the graphics card to run the stream as well. So Alright, so... Oh look, more advertising. I don't care. Alright, one is back. All my settings are not what they were supposed to be. Oh... That's a bug I've been having with F125. My inputs are not saved, even though they should be saved. Alright, let me get my controller. All right, EJR GT Neo. Why is that not selected? I don't understand. Yep. Yeah, your FPS should definitely not be in the 20s. Why can't I enable this, God? Oh, Christ. If I enable that, does I give me control? Yes. What? Why? 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 That's so aggravating. Accelerate. Brake. Steer left. This should work, hopefully. Steer right. Pause. 6 is right. Gear up. Gear down. Clutch. Yep. Does this work yet? Nope. Next camera. Let's go with Y. Or 3. This is aggravating that I have to do this. Hey, got him. Yeah, I think I remember. You think you told me that. You messaged me. Alright, so this is good. Accept advance. I want this to be that. Back cancel. I want this to be that. I don't even know what this stuff does, but it's there. Okay, back. Save as new control scheme. Just gonna put EJR. EJR. Okay. Cut off the controller. Thank you. Alright. We got control. Now let's delete this. Yes, get rid of you. Goodbye. Alright. I don't know why. I decided it didn't want to work anymore. Okay, so. So, real quick, looking at my settings. Path tracing, ray reconstruction, ray traced, all this stuff is off. Turn all of this off, for sure. If you're running a preset, it's probably got some of it on. This stuff is where problems happen. Turn all that off, and then everything else I have maxed out. That's actually turning that on actually hurts you, graphics wise. So turn that off. Now most people leave VSync off. I like it on. I know, blah, blah, blah. I run DLSS and DLAA. DLAA is full resolution. Confirm changes. Accept. I don't think I have an actual frame limiter on. Is there too? Frame limiter off. Okay. So when we get into the actual game, you'll be able to see the frame rate. Time trial, F125. Yep, I want to do Abu Dhabi because I like Abu Dhabi. Just make sure my Sim Pro, whatever, F1 series. Yep. Always max downforce. So that's my frame rate right now, maxed out. Mess with some of the force feedback settings here. Turn off filter. Turn that off. So how does your frame rate compare to this on average? I know you said it was dropping into the 20s, but your like average frame rate, like I'm seeing in the, you know, roughly right around 170. That seems to be like my number. Now what we'll do, I don't know why I'm even touching my mouse. I don't need the mouse. Settings. Actually, I'm curious. This might crash the game. Because it was doing that before. Auto, on. This is probably going to crash this game. That was the issue I was having, too, when I was turning this stuff on. Confirm changes. Alright, I think we're working. But yeah, look at the frame rate now. Sadly, this is what console guys get. I just turned my PC into a console. Frame rate wise, anyway. So I just removed 110 frames by turning on ray tracing. Oof, I don't know how anybody does third-person racing. And by the way, I'm totally not paying attention to like the track and stuff. Just doing this as an example. So I can definitely see you with a 3090 dipping into the 20s if you're running settings like this. So watch, we'll turn off ray tracing. And make sure path tracing is off too, because we can make it even worse right now. But I don't want to. Confirm changes. And we got our frames back. And there's barely any difference. It's all lighting and reflections. That's all ray tracing does. And so basically a while back, F125 implemented a much more aggressive form of ray tracing and path tracing for kind of like next-gen sort of hardware. Now, what I want to check... Without the haptics on, this thing feels naked right now. Alright, what I want to check quick with this game in particular is if this wheel's gonna work when I leave this game and come back in. If I have to re-button map it, oh, it's gonna be annoying. That'll make me not play this game. Okay, so let's reset everything. All right. Wheelbase is off. All right, what's the over-under that this works?
That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. So much fun.
Cool. All right, we have wheel working. All right, everything's stuck, so pass the vibe check on F1. So I think I'm probably going to call it there. I'm pretty tired and I got to be up kind of on the earlier side tomorrow, unfortunately. But normally I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing these streams till probably 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. So it's 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right now. So I'd like to do 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours at night, and get a solid 8-hour day in of streaming, but 2 separate sessions. I think that's going to be the game plan moving forward. But let's kill this. Overall, tonight was pretty solid. He's still got a bunch of you guys in here watching, not saying anything, but that's fine. You're watching. Do me a favor, you guys who are watching and you did like what you saw here, please like and subscribe if you're into that kind of thing. I hate to ask, it's so cringy because everybody on, you know, YouTube does it, but it's unfortunate because you kind of have to. Is that the GT Neo? Yes, sir, it is. This wheel is pretty fantastic. Compliment it. The old Neo X. How is it? Thinking about getting one, but I've seen a bunch of reviews that it starts creaking after a little bit. I have no experience with that, and I honestly haven't seen any reviews about that. I will say this. It is so... Have you ever heard the expression, the squeaky wheel gets the grease? You will never see people go online and out of nowhere compliment a product. For example, I have the Simagic H pattern, I have their e-brake, I have their P1000 pedals with the spring kit, I got the Alpha EVO Pro, I got this EVO, GT Neo, I have the Neo X. They're all phenomenal. But I'm probably not going to go on the internet and talk positively about it. I'm probably just not going to talk positive or anything, talk about it at all. I'll talk about it on here when I'm streaming and stuff, you know, when someone asks, but like, as far as me going on the internet anonymously and just talking about a product, people, when they get a good product, they tend to just not talk about it. They only complain about it when it's bad to them. So the bunch of the reviews that you might see, which I personally haven't, but I'll take your word for it. They are the squeaky wheels out of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of wheels. So yeah, every product ever made has their quality control issues where the product comes out and it's just they got a bad one out there, you know? Happens all the time. I could tell you, while I don't have an insane amount of miles on this thing, it's rock solid. I mean, this thing is I could absolutely put this thing in a race car and trust it in an accident. It's a fair point. Probably going to get one. Appreciate it. Not a problem, sir. Not a problem. Yeah, I absolutely recommendation. I mean, who am I? But my subjective opinion is absolutely go get it. The paddles are a very nice, firm actuation, but they're very quiet, which I like quiet. Nothing more annoying than when I'm watching someone stream, and every time they shift, you hear click, 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 click. It's like, all right, we get it. You know, when your paddles sound like a sequential shifter, you know. That being said, I 100% approve of everything from Simagic so far with zero complaints. I'm not sponsored. I'm not an affiliate. I'm a guy who spent semi-discounted price from an online retailer, but purchased all myself. I am a nobody when it comes to affiliation. This stuff's phenomenal. It doesn't have a lockout either when it's off. So when it's on, see if it snaps. I don't know if it's gonna or not. Centers itself back. And now it's on. And I think this is, if it's on the F1 preset, yeah, it is. So it's only a 360-degree rotation. That's a lockout right there. But then when I turn it off, there is no lockout. It just spins indefinitely. Yeah. What do you have right now? The snap-on is pretty aggressive. Even their H pattern. I drive an H pattern on a daily, and this thing is far more aggressive. And I've driven some pretty built H pattern cars, and this thing is not even turned anywhere near all the way up to its max stiffness. Using Logi pedals and shifter. Are you using the Logitech H pattern? Because if so, I apologize in advance. Alpha Mini solid. Logitech pedals are solid. I do like the. That's what I had actually. The Logitech H pattern's it's a toy. My buddy, I originally had one. I gave it to my buddy, and he did everything you possibly could do to try and mechanically re-engineer that thing to make it feel better. It feels terrible still. It's a piece of plastic. It's all plastic. But no, the Sim, I highly recommend if you're on the Mini. You can't play on console anyway, so who cares about holding on to the Logitech shifter? Buy this shifter, this H pattern sequential combo. This thing's legit. I even have the carbon ball on it. On most cars, I go out, even though I like, when it comes to racing and I'm trying to go fast, I use this wheel. But when I'm trying to have fun, this and the H pattern. This is where the fun's at. I did order the Alcantara wheel because I like Alcantara. I know most people don't. I don't care what most people like. I am me. So. And then, of course, there's the tried and true. Yeah, I will say this. If you buy into any ecosystem these days, everything is kind of nice. Like, because I get a lot of questions of, yeah, have you tried this? Have you used it? What do you think of this one? Honestly, you buy anything brand new on the market right now that's relatively new production, you're getting equal or lateral performance to the competing brand. This stuff's all good. You can't go wrong. You can go on the internet and read reviews, and you can read reviews until you're blue in the face. And according to the internet, every product in the market sucks because one guy complains, and that becomes the news about that product. So it's kind of a bummer. But I am someone who holds quality pretty high up on their list of importance. I don't buy junk. I hate junk. Trust me, I'm self-employed. I build motorcycles, race motorcycles. And I'm known as being one of the hardest guys to become an affiliate with or get as a dealer because I won't sell your shit if it's shit. So if I say, I like to think that my word in that department from a quality standpoint means something. Now, who am I? Just a guy, but I'm a picky guy. I'm out of water. And it's time for me to go to bed. So, like I said, these streams at nighttime will normally go to about 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. But tonight I'm cutting about a half hour early because I do got to be up early. And I'm getting tired. But I would, you know, hang out for a little while longer if I wasn't getting up early. So, anyway, anybody still in chat, if you enjoyed this, please like it and subscribe. Tap that bell. Hate saying that. It's so cringy, but it's what you got to do to sort of promote yourself, you know. But if you like it, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. It really does help because my content here has shifted from primarily motorcycles to primarily sim racing. Even though I have somewhat of a following, most of that following isn't interested, and the algorithm punishes you for that. So, anyway, again, thanks for being here. You have a good night, Hush. Buy some Simagic stuff. I approve. It's very nice. All right. Peace out.